Hey all, Paint Marine here. So, this video here is going to be one going over the new Citadel contrast paints. Now, I'm going to kind of have this video kind of playing here in the background. I'm going to have the sound on mute. But this is a video that they put out on their new Warhammer Citadel Color uh, new website that they have to kind of give you tips on how to paint these new this new contrast. Plus, it also just gives you other tips like how to base coat with sprays and by brush and all that other kind of stuff. So the website itself is pretty cool and a really neat resource. I think they have some like a lot of all their painting tutorial videos they have on there. They even said that there will be a painting video for every single model that Games Workshop makes. So that's pretty cool that there's going to be some kind of painting tutorial video done for absolutely every model they want. So if you want to paint in the color scheme that they have, you can go for it. So more directly to the contrast paints, I'm just really on the fence about them. Unfortunately, from watching this video and just from what I've seen so far, I don't think it's going to be any help for me as far as my homebrew chapter, the Star Commanders. It's just a lot of extra steps potentially. It looks like there's a lot of, if you are using a darker color like they're using here, this ultramarines contrast, you'll see that to redo later other parts, he has to go back over it with a gray sear base paint, so you can get that same effect that the contrast paints do. So it seems they're, in a way, it kind of speeds up the base painting because it gets the base and the shading done, but in the end you still have to do some other kind of rework. My other issue though is, as you can see right here, I mean that's kind of splotchy. It's not a really super even coat. And then at the same time, you also have to be careful of pooling. It can start to pool. There are some pictures online you can find, especially it seems like the yellows. I don't know if they just pumped out a bunch of miniatures so they could have them on display for Warhammer Fest, and so there's just a lot of pooling in a lot of areas because they were doing them quickly. But man, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of how the model looks at the end. It's definitely a quicker way of getting it done, and for new people coming in, definitely it's awesome. It's great for that. And you know, we always need more people to get in, and if painting is a big hurdle for people, well, this will definitely help them in that aspect. But for people that have been around, it can be a little bit of a, change is bad. We like to do things the old way, kind of a thing. So I'm definitely going to pick up some of these. I'm going to pick up the colors that I would need to paint my homebrew chapter, because I want to see, is this going to, one, be close match? Like, can I get colors that match my current color scheme pretty close, if not like right on? Because preferably you want your models to look all the same. Obviously, there's that. So here you can see right there, like he had to go back over portions that are going to be a lighter contrast paint because the blue is too dark. It won't work if you don't have a light undercoat. The contrast paints just don't work. But anyway, so I think I'm going to at least try and attempt to do a test model anyway with the contrast paint colors that match my current color scheme and see how that turns out and how that looks. I might be in luck since my main base color is white. I should hopefully not have to really go over and like redo any areas with the gray sear. So here they're calling that complete. So I'm going to pause it right here real quick. So this is the completed model with contrast paints. And I mean, for tabletop, for getting it on the table and having a model that's painted, sure, go for it. I mean, it doesn't look horrible, but at the same time, like, there's just some parts of it, like, like in through here, it just does not, there's some kind of splotching. Like, you could maybe even turn that into some battle damage if you wanted to. I mean, there's ways that you could fix this up with some battle damage type of thing with some of these areas that are a little bit lighter and make it look really, really sick, I think. But just as a overall, like, I don't know, it just, the way that the different, like, contrasts work together is kind of weird too. Like, I think maybe if the base was this, just the contrast, and then maybe they did traditional paints on the trim and the other details, it might not look as bad. But I don't know. When I look at this, I just see kind of like it just looks really splotchy, and like my 3-year-old could do the same amount of work currently with the current range of paints. But I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people singing the praises already. A lot of the Golden Demon winners that they brought over and professional painters that they had to come try it are really saying that they're great. The one thing I have seen that seems to be they work really, really well with are organics, cloth type material, like anything more of an organic or a free flowing type of thing. It seems to really work well. Flat surfaces and something like this with an armored surface where it's just a lot more rounded and just not, less organic and definitely more manufactured type of thing. It doesn't seem to have as great of a look. But from what I've seen, I mean, another model that kind of has armor but also are plague marines, like that works really well for them because it kind of gives that grimy, dirty look and that decayed look that they definitely need. So I mean, it works for that. And like I said, like I've seen some other type of organic style things that'll work for. I definitely also I am looking forward to them in the fact of like I still have a ton of Blackstone Fortress stuff I need to get painted up that I think they'll work great for. A lot of the enemies from that I think it'll be just perfectly fine. Like the Doom Bull, or not Doom Bull, the Ambull it's an organic creature, and I think the contrast paints are going to look awesome on that. I am definitely going to paint that 100% contrast and throw that up for everyone to see. I definitely think, well, I say 100%, but it'll mostly be contrast. I'll probably still do a few details and highlights here and there. Because I saw a blue horror that was 100% contrast with one highlight that they did, and it did look pro painted. It looked great. But again, it's very organic, naturalistic, I guess you could say, kind of look to it for what it is, being a demon or whatever. But it definitely looked really good. But I just have a problem with all the Space Marine stuff I've seen so far. I just don't think looks great. Like I said, I will do a test model though, in the colors of my homebrew, see how it turns out, and if it turns out good looking and matches my army and like matches details, I only have to do maybe a few things here and there. I may be completely converted over and changed over because I have so much backlog on my star commanders right now. It's not even funny. So I would definitely like to see something like that. I've seen a few videos on airbrushing too. I'm very curious on how that might turn out as well, because I would love a quicker way to shade larger models, and mostly looking at the Thunderhawk that I have for my star commanders. When I start getting into that, if I could throw some of the one of these contrast paints through an airbrush and get like a good layer and a shade at the same time with that, I think that would be amazing. Like that, those things could be game changers for me right there. If it matches my army, like I can't tell a difference which ones I painted and which one I painted with contrast in the a traditional way, and if that doesn't work, then whatever, I can go back to painting the traditional way. It'll just take a while. It kind of sucks, but it's the color scheme I picked, and I think it looks great. But the big one, I'm really hoping that I can pull something off with these for that Thunderhawk, because that thing is a huge model, and finding a quicker way to paint that and have it look good would just be great. So but anyway, so that's a quick down and dirty video there of my views on contrast paints. I'm still not sold on them. I definitely need to get them in hand so I can test them out. So look to see a test model in the colors of my homebrew, and then also almost 100% painted Ambull for the Blackstone Fortress, which I think that will work out well. I really have little to no doubt that that's going to work out great, and so I'm definitely looking forward to painting that anyway. So alright, well, that will be it for now. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Are you excited for the contrast paints? Do you think they're going to be a hit, a miss? You know, where do you think they're going with that? Are you upset with the rumors coming out that glazes are going to disappear? I'm kind of upset about that because they're a great, quick lens like glow effect, cheat code type of thing. And there's also rumors that there's going to be some other paints disappearing as well, replaced only by these contrast paints. There's no real clear word on what those are going to be yet, but there is that rumor out there. So definitely let me know what you think. Check out the rest of the YouTube channel while you're around. Check out the Facebook page, see what I got going on there. Again, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Throw a like, a subscribe in here, and until next time.